3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. Got a review here for a movie that is making a lot of waves and that a lot of people are talking about. Some people are saying it's their favorite movie of 2020. I've got a review for Promising Young Woman, which I'll be the first to admit I wasn't really familiar with the film or what it was even about. I didn't watch the trailer for this, and I gotta be honest, I'm really happy I didn't. And if you haven't seen this, and if for some reason you have been able to avoid what's about or anything like that, I'd say go in this cold. I think the film actually works better just going in completely cold to what it is and just kind of enjoying it. So the film here stars Carey Mulligan as Cassandra. You've seen her in several things. An Education immediately comes to mind. Inside Llewyn Davis, Mudbound, Drive, Shame, to name a few. I think she's an incredible actress, and I was actually really excited to see that she was starring in this. I was like, oh, that's like, hell yeah, let's go. Because I always love seeing actors, actresses who may not be that upper tier get the chance to get some more exposure. And we'll get to Carey Mulligan, but she plays Cassie, technically Cassandra, but Cassie. And really the whole movie is about something happened to her or someone she knows. And so she went from, as the film says, being a promising young woman to kind of being kind of just a slouch, just being kind of, I don't even want to say reckless, but being just kind of lazy, settling into a routine, as many of us do. And the film itself does a very good job of kind of making you go, well, what happened? And I will say this film is just under 2 hours. It's an hour and 53 minutes. And for me, it's definitely something that I was enthralled with, captivated by, made uncomfortable by, and at the end of the movie was like, son of a bitch. Okay. So I normally go into spoilers, but I'm going to be honest with all of you kids. I'm going to dance around this like there's no tomorrow, because I really want you to discover this for yourself and to not spoil plot points. So again, I'm going to try to tap dance here, so stick with me here. So the movie starts off with Cassie at this bar. She is drunk, very drunk. And this guy, of course, comes up to her, is like, oh, well, like, oh, she's drunk. Hello, let me go over and say hi. And he's sitting there talking to a couple of his friends. And it is just the most douchey club dude conversation that you could ever hear. It's the whole, oh, she's dressed like that and drunk. Well, she's asking for it. They literally say that in the movie. And I know some people go, guys don't talk like that. You clearly haven't met enough men or gone to a club recently. But, well, hopefully none of you have gone to a club recently. But this one guy who offers to go and help her out, he seems, at first, somewhat decent. Like, hey, let's share a cab. I can, it can drop you off at your place. We can just split the cab. I'm like, all right, that's okay. Hopefully, I did laugh really hard. And something about this movie is that the humor. There's a lot of dark humor in this, but it works really well for what where the film ends up and just kind of the road that the film goes ahead and takes. I laughed really hard once they get to the cab. The driver puts on some music, as you do, and Spice Girls 2 Become One came on, and that was something that I really went, okay, that's really fucking funny. So they get up to his place. gets up to his room, and she's like, I need to lay down. Like, I don't feel good. And he goes, oh, okay, lay down. Like, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. It's fine. And he jumps on top of her, which, I mean, ow, first off. Secondly, he's like, oh, you're okay. And she's like, I need to get up. I need to go. She's practically begging, like, let me go. And he's like, no, it's okay. And then the switch flips, and she goes from, oh God, I'm drunk, to, motherfucker, I told you I need to fucking go. And that's when the realization comes in of, oh, she's not drunk. She's completely dead dog sober, and you just got caught trying to sexually rape her. And that is where the movie goes, all right, here are some of our cards. Are you going to follow the breadcrumbs? Because, again, this is a film about Cassie learning who she is independent of something that occurred in her life. And that's all I'm going to say about it. When you find out what said thing is, you go, well, shit, okay, that makes a ton of sense why you would be this vengeful and this angry and this just lost in your life. And there is this lie that I think we are told overall as a society that time heals all wounds. It doesn't. Like, you don't always heal from the wounds. You just kind of learn to accept them. And this is one of those wounds that she just cannot get over. And I will be the first to admit, as someone who went through something not nearly as egregious, but something to the point of me being uncomfortable, and I'll just leave it at that. Once you figure out what's going on and what occurred, you go, well, shit, that I can't even fuck. Like, it's one of those things that if your friend told you this occurred, you wouldn't really know where to start outside of just saying, I'm sorry and I'm here for you. And that's really where it kind of is going to go ahead and make you go, oh shit. I even timestamped it at the 7:06 mark. She has this look on her face that genuinely scared me and went, oh man, this is fucking bad. This is very, very fucking bad. But what I appreciate about this film is that the writer of it, it's really funny. I remember watching this thinking, man, this feels a lot like Killing Eve the movie. And Emerald Fennell, who's also the writer and director on it, go figure, she writes for Killing Eve. The hell you say? And I don't even mean that as a bad thing, because I know some people will go, oh, it's written like a TV movie. No. It is written incredibly well. And while this is dealing with very rough subject matter, it does a good job, I believe, of balancing, of not saying that Cassie is completely right, but also saying that the opposite isn't wrong. It's a really hard line to walk, to not be, oh my God, all men are evil, but also at the same time, you need to listen to women. And the problem is, I don't know if anyone can write a film that balances, or even a show that balances, that potential. Because again, obviously you want to take any sort of accusation, that a woman brings forward seriously. But at the same time, you don't want to, just like crucify the guy either. And the movie gets into that. And I'm like, wow, this is a really tough tightrope for you to walk. But the movie does such a genuine, admirable job of it that I really had to kind of step back and go, wow, like you're really avoiding so many of these pitfalls that I really think that a lesser writer would fall into. Cassie's parents, Stanley and Susan, played by Clancy Brown and Jennifer Coolidge, respectively. The parents, the couple I didn't know I needed in a movie, but they work so well together. And I would compare this, and this is a very random reference, but I would compare it to something like The Big Short, in the sense of every actor who's in this, no matter how big, no matter how small, they are crushing their roles. Molly Shannon is in this. And while her character isn't in the film a lot, she has a very important piece in regards to the plot as far as who she is and why she's important. And she gets a scene with Carey Mulligan that genuinely broke my heart and made me go, oh, wow, I just want to give you a hug. Allison Brie plays this girl, Madison, and she falls into the same boat. Her big scene with Cassie, it's incredibly tense. It's incredibly well done. And it addresses an issue about this issue. Again, dancing around things that really made me go, okay, like you're really attacking this from multiple angles, which I really appreciate because it makes it feel more human. It makes it feel more like it's really happening in our world, which I really just love. The big standout for me in the best way outside of Carey Mulligan and another character I'll mention here in a second, Laverne Cox as Gail. She's Cassie's boss who runs this coffee shop. Laverne Cox is amazing. She is so amazing in this. And I just really wanted to just give her a giant hug and go, you're a fucking badass. Like, she is great in this. Like, I really need to say it again. She is great in this. And her and Carey Mulligan have such great chemistry together. A lot of just very quick, witty sort of banter between the two of them. I wonder how much of it was improv, because Laverne Cox, if you've seen her and stuff, she is just very naturally witty. And Carey Mulligan, same boat. So I wouldn't be surprised about the stuff that's on the cutting room floor that I really wish that maybe we get an extended cut of this at some point. If there is an extended cut of this with an additional 15 minutes or so, I would love to see it because I'd love to see what got cut out. But Cassie's world is kind of thrown into a bit of a tizzy when she is approached by Ryan, who's played by Bo Burnham. Now, if you've listened to the podcast for any sort of amount of time, I've mentioned the fact Bo Burnham is one of my favorite stand-ups ever, as in top 10, if not top 5 stand-ups. I think that 8th Grade is an incredibly well-done film. It bothers me that I don't think people really appreciate his brilliance, especially Makes Happy is a genuine masterclass of stand-up comedy. And again, something I do not think is talked about nearly enough for how brilliant it is. While I'm not a huge fan of all the material in it, I think the fact that he directed Chris Rock's Tambourine, he did a hell of a job giving it this very intimate feel. I think Bo Burnham is just fucking talented as shit. And I think 8th Grade got criminally overlooked as we got into award season. But the big kind of hook of this movie is that there's this scene where Ryan, goes into Cassie's coffee shop, goes ahead and goes like, hey, basically does that thing that I'm sure that you've all maybe experienced or seen where, you had so much potential. What are you doing working in a coffee shop? Or what are you doing working here? As he phrases it. And so he even goes, oh, that was really shitty on my part. I'm sorry. You can spit in my coffee if you need to. And Cassie looks him right in the eyes, spits in his coffee. And I went, yikes. Okay. I went, wow, that is really dark. But then Ryan, like a boss, looks her right in the eyes, takes a sip of the coffee. And I went, okay, Bo Burnham, I don't know if that's baller, if that's just, like, you're kind of fucking amazing. I love their relationship. The amount of moments where you just go, oh no, like, what are you doing? Because Cassie is on this mission of, seeking out these shitty men. It made me really happy to see McLovin in it. I feel so bad. I still keep calling him Christopher Mintz-Plasse. He plays this guy named Neil, who, again, tries to hook up with her when she's drunk. And And there's this point where, he's kissing on her neck and kissing her ears and everything, and he flat out goes, "You need to stop. You need to fucking stop." And he does the whole, I'm a nice guy," and I felt like we had this connection. And Cassie, rightfully so, calls him on this shit and goes, "Oh, when's my birthday? What are my hobbies? What's my fucking name?" And I went, fuck, she's got you there, man. Like, she really has you there. And Neil, rightfully so, goes, "Okay, fuck, all right, I just wanted to get laid." Which, at the end of the day, unfortunately, that's kind of what it comes down to. It's crazy to me, and this is my big takeaway. This vengeance mission that she's on, again, for reasons that you'll find out, she's basically the equalizer. And I mean that in the sense of she's giving all of these dudes a chance to take the off-ramp and not be a piece of shit. There are multiple points during every interaction where she goes, like, stop, or like, I'm drunk, or I don't feel good. Multiple times. Multiple. With every single dude. And these guys are just like, well, nope, pussy. Sorry. And that's the part in particular that just makes you go, fuck. It is so cringeworthy because it's so real. And if you've talked to any of your female friends, unfortunately, every female that you probably know, unfortunately, has a story like that. And it's really fascinating to see how her mind works and how she really checks these guys in a way that I went, wow, that's really quite empowering. And I think it's something that I'll be honest, if you're a guy, you need to see this. If you're a woman, definitely watch this. But if you're a dude, you really need to see this. Because I think it is something that if you're a guy, you need to realize, okay, this is not how you do shit. I mean, obviously, hopefully you know that already. But honestly, this movie might be a nice wake-up call to go, okay, let me kind of make sure my boundaries for shit are where they need to be. I know some people will, because I'm already seeing it online, some people are like, oh, this is preachy and da-da-da-da. And you'll have those people who say that shit regardless. This movie could be, fucking incredible with, Hans Zimmer doing the score and Spielberg directing it, and people would still find a way to go, oh, this is bullshit. This is that feminist bullshit because of the subject matter. So no matter what, this was going to piss people off. And once you kind of figure out what it's about, I went, oh yeah, there's no way people are going to be upset about this. And if you're not upsetting some people, you're probably doing something wrong. So I was actually very happy to see that this was ruffling feathers the way it was. To go over a couple other things that did make me laugh, just because again, I don't want to get into much more of the plot. But there are a couple jokes that really there's a couple lines I went oof. So the whole there's one of the guys that's trying to hook up with her goes, I thought we had a connection. That's Neil, actually. And so she even goes, you at least are better than the other ones. And I'm paraphrasing, but she goes, you at least woke me up before you put your fingers inside me. And I was like, shit. Oh my God. And she even goes, you keep saying you're a nice guy because every week I go to a club and every week I act like I'm too drunk to stand. And every fucking week, a nice guy, quote unquote, like you comes over to see if I'm okay. And you find out she's been doing this shit for 152 weeks, 3 years of doing this. I was like, what the shit? That long? And you see this notebook where she's making tally marks each time she goes out to a club. And it's terrifying to know that she's been going out that many times and that many times guys are proving her right. Which really speaks to the state of the world, which is why, again, if you're a dude, you really need to watch this shit. That in particular made me feel so gross and grimy and go, oh, fuck, that's really terrible. There are some moments of levity in this because, again, this is definitely a dark comedy. The chemistry between Cassie and Ryan is so incredibly wonderful. There's a joke where, because Ryan's a doctor, And Cassie shows up and goes to his to the hospital he works at and goes, "Oh, I'm here to see my to get my herpes medication." And he goes, "Oh, you have herpes." That saves us an awkward conversation later. And that line made me laugh so incredibly fucking hard. I won't say why, but one of the last things I'll bring up here, this turns into, actually that's too much of a giveaway. Never mind. I'm not even going to bring up that movie. I will say it turns into somewhat of one of Tarantino's best films. That's what I'll say, and I will leave it at that. I think that's enough of a hint, but not a dead giveaway. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I can. Oh, they actually make a Paris Hilton song listenable. That is something that I really, really was impressed by. I think it's the Stars song, I want to say. I love that. I love that so much that they're able to somehow make Paris Hilton relevant again, which go fucking figure. There is so much that they use with the score, especially when you find out what the crux of Cassie's anger is. And I will leave it at that. That scene, and you'll know the scene I'm talking about once you get to it. As far as absence of score, it's so heartbreaking and it's so well done that it's one of those things I really had to take a step back and pause and genuinely cry a little bit. It's a brutal realization once you get there. And the last thing I will say before I get to my final thoughts, there's one decision the plot makes that I really hate, that I genuinely hate, that I went, no, really? Like, it's one of those things I just went, I don't like that. I get why the writer did it, but I don't like it. Like, it's one of those decisions that if I got a chance to talk to Emerald, I would go, okay, can we talk about this? Like, tell me why this is, like, why you had to go this direction with this thing. It really bothered me, but regardless. This is about as close to perfect on one of these types of films that you can get. It's a revenge film for our current time and day. Like, we think about with, how dating and stuff works and how the nightclub scene works and all that. You think about something like Hustlers, where, I go back to that tragic scene where Awkwafina is talking to that one guy, and he convinces her to give him a blowjob, and pretends, oh, I have $500 here, and it was 20. You think about those things that people go like, well, like, she agreed to it. It's still rape. Like, it's like, it at worst is sexual. It's at best it's sexual assault. And this movie tackles an issue that is obviously uncomfortable for people to talk about in a way that I thought was incredibly well done and well fleshed out. Carey Mulligan, she should get an Oscar nomination for this. I personally will be upset if she doesn't get one. I will bring that up on the podcast if she does not get an Oscar nomination, because she deserves one. This is produced by quite a few people. So it's produced by Emerald Fennell. It's also produced by Margot Robbie, which I'll put it like this. I hope this is kind of a turning point for Margot Robbie. Because Margot Robbie, I've seen her in stuff where I go, oh, she was good in that. If you've listened to the podcast, I raved about I, Tonya. I think I, Tonya is still the best performance she's turned out. But maybe this is a turning point for her. I'm really curious to see what else Margot Robbie kind of, gets involved in outside of, being Harley Quinn. But this is one of those films I would tell everyone is well worth your time and you need to watch. This will be something that I might bring up on my best of. Who knows? But as far as the film, it's well worth your time. I got a screener for this. When I can buy this, I will be buying this. This is something I need in my collection. I love this film and genuinely admire this film. So this is a fan-fucking-tastic for me, even despite the big thing with the plot that I just went, I really hate that you made that decision. I still think it's a great movie and about as close to perfect as you can get. So this is a fan-fucking-tastic for me. So everyone, Promising Young Woman. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Let us know in the comments. You can like both of our pages on Facebook, The Real Pineapple and Real Pineapple Games. I'm going to start streaming here on Twitch here in February, which I'm really excited to get into Twitch. Haven't streamed a game before, so we'll see how that goes. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple and Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio, TuneUp, and Amazon Music at The Real Pineapple. Thank you so much for listening. We'll have reviews up for the month of February for our Black Cinema Showcase. I am so excited to talk some Black Cinema. We'll have some reviews up for One Night in Miami. We'll have a review up for Malcolm X. We'll have a review up for some Boondocks episodes. We'll have a review up for Watchmen, the HBO series, which I'm so excited to watch that. I have not actually seen it, so no spoilers, but I'm real excited to get into that. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Please stay safe out there, wear a mask, and we will talk to you soon.